Hello, good afternoon, YouTube. I just making this video because uh, of a study that just came out. I guess some researchers down in New Zealand did a 20 or 30-year study in which they deduced that chronic cannabis use decreased your IQ. I'm not surprised that they're coming out and saying something like this. Um, there are very few studies done for the positive effects of marijuana. And when they do make a study, like when the Spanish did a study into the effects of cannabis on cancer, they found that it killed cancer cells. Cannabinoids killed the cancer cells, would not allow the cancer to grow any larger, the cannabinoids. They did not kill the cancer, but they held it in check. But we don't hear about that from the media, do we? We don't hear how cannabis helps multiple sclerosis patients regain control of their limbs so they're able to get out of wheelchairs and walk and get off dozens of opiates and other serious debilitating drugs and actually lead a productive life. You don't hear too many studies like that, or you don't hear enough of the stories of people that get benefits from using massive amounts of cannabis. Now, one thing when they come out and they say something like this, that it lowers your IQ. This is more propaganda to get you to not look at a safe medication that would treat your condition. And the pharmaceutical industry wants you to believe that it will damage you in some way. So you will not use it. And you will use their toxic substances, which are habit-forming and or toxic and destructive to your body. And cannabis is clearly neither of these. Personally, I use a lot of cannabis. I've been using cannabis daily for the last 12 years to treat my PTSD, depression, and and this is what I think is really funny, is like when I was in high school. This was like 30 years ago during the Reagan, drug, just say no campaign. They came out and they said that males that smoked a lot of pot would grow breasts. Now, I don't know about you, but my mom's got nice hooters. And so if I experienced a drop in testosterone, which would, supposedly the scientists say, would promote the growth of breasts, where are they, dude? I consume more than a pound a year. That's more, an ounce, 2 ounces a month. That's pretty chronic use. And I have no breasts. 12 years of this. No breasts. As for the cognitive function, I chronically smoked marijuana throughout high school. In fact, when I went to school straight, people thought I was stoned or something was wrong with me, because I was straight. I was stoned all the time. And somehow I was able to qualify for the Navy's Advanced Electronics program, which I think only the top 5%, 10 or 5%, 10% I think, of the top, applicants to the Navy are offered, advanced electronics, what I got. And surely, if my cannabis smoking during high school, 4, 5, 6 years, and in fact, I chronically smoked marijuana for 7 years before I joined the Navy. That did not affect my cognitive function. I stopped using cannabis for 7 years while I was in the Navy. I didn't get kicked out of the Navy for drugs. And it was another 3 years after I got out of the Navy before I started using cannabis again. So, cannabis is good. It's good medicine. And it helps keep my mind sharp. Because, if I was on antidepressants, I fear that my fate might end up like some of my best veteran friends, and my sister-in-law, who just took her life about 2 months ago. And, that's something that the drug companies don't want to talk about. I've never heard of anybody who killed themselves from smoking pot alone. If you mix drugs, you're going to get bad results. But I've never heard of anybody being seriously affected by cannabis. So, when you hear stuff like this, and I'm just going to quote this off of, this is a typical prohibitionist, but it says, can smoking marijuana make a guy grow breasts? Yes, it can. If a guy smokes a lot of it, heavy use of marijuana can turn off the brain hormones that tell the testicles to make testosterone, male sex hormone. When this happens, it's maybe enough natural estrogen, female hormones, present to stimulate breast tissue. Other related side effects of very heavy marijuana use may include decreased size of testicles, loss of interest in sex, difficulty maintaining an erection, and difficulty growing muscles. I don't know if any scientific data that has determined how much marijuana use is enough to cause breast growth. It may also vary with individuals. Avoidance is safest. You see, they don't want you to even consider using a safe substance. I mean, it sounds to me like they would much rather this is from some teen site, teengrowth.com. So I bet you that they would much rather the kids be smoking tobacco and drinking alcohol and driving. I'm sure those are things that they, between the lines, are actually promoting. But none of these things are founded in fact. I don't know of any marijuana smoker that has breasts. I don't know of too many marijuana smokers that have problems having kids. Personally, I just had one 6 years ago. So, if I was infertile from 6 years of chronic use of cannabis, how did I get the erection? How did I even get the woman to have sex with if, the cannabis use makes me so sexually dysfunctional? It's raw propaganda, and most cannabis users know that this is all propaganda. So if you're a person looking from the outside, looking at this, you just need to be objective, because as many people smoke cannabis if these health problems that they say are attributable to cannabis use are present, it would be an epidemic throughout our society. I mean, we would have, if it was really bad for, your respiratory system and stuff, why don't we have 20-somethings coming in with COPD from cannabis use? Why doesn't that happen? No, that happens to tobacco users after, 30, 40, 50 years of cannabis or of tobacco use. I've never heard of anybody, like I said, somebody who strictly smokes pot having any kind of respiratory problems that they say are attributable to cannabis use. It's just really absurd, and you just got to remember when they do one of these studies, it's very skewed. It's done for a reason, and even if the results say something different, like that's positive, that it actually helped the brain to grow, and that, I'm sure we could extrapolate a lot of different conclusions from the data that they gathered. But, propaganda is propaganda. But anyway, I just wanted to make this. Y'all have a great day.